Hello everybody on this very dark and late Wednesday morning. It's 2 a.m. at where I am. I was gifted Beckett's Jihad diary, so I was kinda too into reading that for far too long. Yesterday I kinda didn't stream because I was reading it. Hi Jade! So hey, Myrta has TTRPG book that she has been reading for the past 242 pages now. It's absolutely excellently written. It's... Ooh, thank you! It's just kinda sad that they never... Yeah, you've been here for 4 months. That they never made like a game out of it, because that thing is absolutely fantastic. Anyway, time to go back to our stressy, depressive Lasombra land. I honestly do not know what the heck we're doing here. Because, well, Ooh. Thank you for hosting, little widow kitten. Yeah! It's like over 500 pages long, and the evil joke just was like, Psst, I heard that you wanted it, and just handed me a download link because he bought it for me. And I was like, no way! No way! The thing's expensive, yo! But yeah, you require a lot understanding of the World of Darkness universe in order to understand what the heck you're reading. But somehow I managed to like be on the perfect cusp amount of understanding World of Darkness universe because I can't understand what the heck I'm reading. Ah! That's really good! That is really good. I'm happy for you. I've been beaming with energy and I've been having a good time. And I might be slightly Satanist, but it's okay. It's okay. Rituals are giving me free energy from the universe. And probably more than from the universe, honestly, but at the moment, you know what, I'm just gonna go with it, and I'm just gonna use it, because why not? Why not? Yep. Totally okay. So anyways, I found magic systems that actually make me feel alive. So I'm good. I'm just really good. But our Lasombra is not, because for some reason their camera, I can actually, reading Beckett's Jihad diary, I can understand as Asamites being Camarilla, but Lasombra, whoa. Like, this is abuse on another level. Why would you stoop so low? So anyways, we are avoiding the big festival or whatever is happening in the main place. And I actually love how the map is, it's like blood veins. So we're off to feed, I think. Walk in the park. In life I wasn't especially fond of parks. Now as one of the kindred I can finally see the appeal. Past midnight they become a surprisingly good hunting ground. Funny, I never knew how much I could miss nature until got stuck in this urban jungle for good. Also, she says that it's a good hunting ground. If you tried to hunt in my place, you would be standing all night in a single park with not a single soul going past. Like, everybody would look at you really weird. They would be like, what are you doing in here after dark? This is so unsafe, because once again, whenever I see people outside, they're really paranoid. But that might also be the pandemic, so there's that. The sight of familiar green surroundings slowly floods my mind with disjointed images, back from when I just moved to New York and was still in awe of it. Of no suppressing memories today. I closed my eyes, allowing myself to drown in the stream of memories. An elderly couple holding their frail hands in the warmth of the morning sun. An evening gathering of self-important academics fervently discussing the discoveries no one but them cares about. I miss the morning sun. It actually occurred to me that because I have a flexi job schedule, I don't actually need to sleep at night and wake up in the morning. I can literally have like naps in the middle of the day, and I was like, you know what, this is gonna be really exciting. I'm gonna wake up at sunrise to watch the sunrise. And I kinda did from the comfort of my own home. It was very unimpressive because UK skies are kinda foggy and stuff. And I was like, meh, I really don't feel awake this early in the morning, and then I took a nap again. That sun life is just not for me. A bunch of kids chasing an imaginary treasure, joyful, restless, and oblivious to the dangers of the summer's heat wave. I can actually see that image. Don't you miss when life didn't suck balls and people actually did stuff outside instead of looking paranoid at each other? Because I do, even though I probably wouldn't see it because that would happen in the middle of the day. And I don't have a lot of reason to be outside in the middle of the day, honestly, because I tend to wake up and work from the comfort of my own home. Yeah, that sounds... I wanna travel, Jade. You know what? I wanna go to Scotland and see all the spooky castles. And I will totally actually buy a photo camera that's not just like my shitty phone, because this thing only has like 13 gigs of space and Windows practically ate it all. I will actually pick up a cheapo camera and I wanna travel. And I want to take generic pictures of old-looking buildings, because that's just so mood. Yeah, I can totally see that. And instead of... I'm satisfying my wanderlust by sometimes wandering out into the parks in this area. In which case, people are looking at me like I am weird. But you know, I'm totally not the only one. Like, a whole bunch of people like, I just really want to travel. And I think it's because everybody kind of got closed back inside. But hey, it's just gonna continue for a while, so we better hunker down. Though, honestly, I don't... It's really weird. I don't hate it. It's like... I know that pandemics are absolutely friggin' awful, and they are, and this one absolutely is. But it almost feels like the world has been hit by like this stream of chaotic energy, and it never feels good when the world is like hit by a stream of chaotic energy. But it also feels like it kind of woke everybody up. Kind of just slapped everybody in their face. And it feels like people honestly are gonna end up being freer than they were before. Oof! Yeah, I'm kinda hermit-light as well. Living easy, loving free, season ticket on one-way ride, asking nothing, leave me to be taking everything in my stride. Don't need reason, don't need rhyme. Ain't nothing that I rather do. Going down party time, my friends are gonna be there too. I'm on the highway to hell, on the highway to hell, highway to hell, I'm on the highway to hell. I know the song now. No stop signs, speed limit, nobody's slowing me down. Like a wheel, gonna spin it, nobody's gonna mess me around. Hey Satan, paying my dues, playing in a rocking band. Hey mom. Hi mom. But yeah. I feel like we're in for a very rocky decade, and I will actually be more disappointed if it settles down. Once again, a horrible thing to say, because nothing good comes out from rocking the boat. Except that it's... If we were just going the way that we were going, the economy of most countries would just be slowly slumping down, and people would have higher and higher unemployment rates over time as more and more jobs would become machinized and people couldn't afford their own places more and more, and we would just have continued in this very slow looming depression for decades. But no, now instead just like chaos came crashing down, and it might do something. It might shook world awake, and I might not like the world awake, but it's better than living a lifetime of the roly bit. A young, perfectly chiseled jogger running along the golf course, 100% graceful in every move he makes, mesmerizing. My eyes snap open and the spinning kaleidoscope of images fades away. I collect my focus and remember what brought me here. A burning heat reaches my fingers. I flicker the butt away and immediately take another cigarette out of the pack before proceeding through the parade ground. Oh, cigarette butts is just such a dirty word. It's like, butt? Butt? The faint sound of shoes tapping against the concrete interrupts my contemplative mood. Just what I was hoping for. I hurriedly finish my smoke and take a step back, blending in with the shadows. A lonely jogger runs into and out of the pale lamplight, completely lost in his thoughts. All dressed up in top-shelf sportswear, wiry muscles clearly visible under the skin-tight outfit. Butts! And his exposed neck. I like how there's like tiny people moving in the distance and it looks like super creepy and ominous because there's never tiny people moving outside anymore. I get the urge back under control for now. Back when I was alive, I would rely on the breathe in, breathe out exercise. However, nowadays, breathing costs a premium. I'm just getting really into breathing. I don't actually understand why breathing would cost a premium. I mean, she apparently just smoked 2 cigs while standing there. Sure. Surely you need breath to talk. You know, even if my heart wasn't beating because my lungs wouldn't be pumping the oxygen into my blood or moving my blood, it would be kind of like an airbag. Airbag expand. Airbag contract. There's absolutely no reason why breathing should cost a premium. It should just be a thing that you can do whenever you want for any reason. Yeah, you do, but living means pumping heart and working lungs where you have to breathe and moving blood. Your heart doesn't need to be pumping for you to just go no. Yeah, I know, right? You literally need to pump out air from inside you through your vocal cords to make a sound. How does this work? Just as I regain my composure, the jogger stops by flickering lantern and takes a glance at his smartphone. His body tenses noticeably as he answers a call. Moving in on him right now would of course inevitably involve the caller hearing the assault happen. No reason to make things complicated, I'll take my time. I cautiously get closer and closer until I can finally overhear his words. Should expect the bad news, I know, but Jesus, Tasha, he's 9! He struggles and fails to sound calm. No, she doesn't know yet. I'll tell her when I get home. I need to think this through. I notice a lanyard half stuck in a pocket with a Bronx Times logo slapped on it. They say there's no cure. Yeah, I heard something about experimental treatments in Rochester, but I can't make that decision on my own. I connect the dots, realize what he's talking about, and feel like I was punched straight in the guts. Listen, I need to clear my head. Tell Jana I need a couple of days off. If he starts throwing a fit again, tell him he'd better learn to write the fucking column on his own. No, seriously. Thanks, Tasha. Yes, I'll give him a kiss from his auntie. The moment he hangs up, his composure goes back out the window. He basically stumbles to the nearest bench. God damn it. His faint sobbing stops me in my tracks. I lose my appetite. Feeding on this guy would feel nauseating anyway. Just when I convince myself that I should let basic decency take the reins, he notices me creeping around. Gives me a startled glance, eyes damp, looking absolutely miserable. Busted. So... what do you say to a guy you were just about to assault in a dark park, but thought better of it? You need to eat. He would actually feel better from it. He would feel happier, even though one of his relatives is like dying from a disease. Yeah, so hi! How's it going, man? You come to this park to cry alone often? Because that is my favorite pastime? You have no idea. I'm lost. Can you help? I think I'm lost. I've been wandering for like an hour, but can't find my way back to the golf house. Spoken like a true damsel in distress, fuck's sake. The man looks at me with suspicion, his eyes still watery. You got lost in one courtyard alone in the middle of the night and sober at that? Yeah, I had to clear my head. My friends told me that midnight walk across one courtyard park can be quite cathartic. Friends? Sure, he picks up on that. Well, some friends you have. You sure they weren't trying to pull a prank on you? Let me bring a map. He shows me his phone. I barely catch a glimpse of smiling boy's face on the lock screen before it starts glitching out. What the? Fuck! The picture got me leaning in too close. Was fine a minute ago, just my luck. Oh. It's them Lasombra eyes. And the Sombra fingers. Off topic, but it still strikes me, whoopsie daisy, how, non-Lasombra elders seem to be really struggling with technology. Because once again, I'm over 200 pages into Beckett's Jihad diary. At one point, he asks, what do I press to answer the phone? At another point, I think it was the owner of ShrekNet, that was telling him that you're not supposed to put your password into the handle for your email, and then later on had to teach him how to CC a message. And I'm like, that literally sounds like my grandma. Come on! It's so basic! The Joker wrestles with his phone for a while, oblivious to what or who, to be precise, caused the failure. He gives out a resigned sigh. Whatever, we don't really need it. Follow this path and keep going straight at the edge of the field there. Turn left at the first chance you get, then left again and past the fountain. Sounds easy enough, thanks. He pockets the temporarily useless phone and gets up from the bench. Don't mention it. I notice a change in his melancholic face. He stands up with his back straight like he has regained some of his lost resolve. He nods and starts running straight back to his problems. I start walking in the opposite direction. Even though I might regret this show of abstinence later, what little remains of my humanity inside my shriveled heart encourages me to think that letting this guy go was the right thing to do. I'll need a change of scenery to break out of this mood, and an opportunity to actually get some juice into my veins, relatively guilt-free if possible. I guess that's enough human interaction for one night. One more to Big Beat Burger, into the last fast food joint I'll ever know. I'll have the usual. The first time I used this line, I wasn't sure it would work, but I've gained enough notoriety among the staff that it does. The cashier just smiles, nods, and charges me for one black coffee. I can imagine them instructing the newbie. See that emo weirdo? Here's how it is. She always orders a single cup of coffee, nothing else, and she doesn't even drink it. Probably wouldn't take a single sip even if I was still alive. This stuff is just trash. I like my super cheap coffee. Speaking of super cheap coffee, one people on one of the occult servers that I frequent, they had quite an interesting experience at Starbucks recently. They went in and asked for a coconut milk latte with vanilla. And they got coconut milk with vanilla. No coffee. And they haven't actually tasted it until they were out. And then they were like, it tasted disgusting, it did. $5 down to drain that, and for some reason I found that like so funny. I would have just taken that home and like put some coffee in myself, because why would you waste good coconut milk with vanilla? Also, hello Manand! We're doing a really late night stream today because Myrta's weird, but it's okay. I'm also really energetic and happy. I'm a happy bunny. I'm a happy bunny. Probably, yep. And at least buying a customer gives me an excuse to sit here for as long as I want to. I wish I could use one of those self-order kiosks to minimize human contact, but touchscreens don't really exactly like me. Not too long ago I managed to blue screen 10 of them in a row. Did she actually continue trying? Ah yes, our collective odd schedules, our scatterbraininess, and the inability to collect the normal circadian rhythm. Hey! Oh well, the good news is it doesn't look like I have anything to do tonight. Outside of sulk. I like my sulking like I like my coffee. Black. Oh, I absolutely love how in this image, like, you can just see. Oh, it's so moving. Like, there's just this energy around her, and it's mostly her smoke, right? But it just kind of looks like tentacles. And, if you would observe your own energy, just like right outside your hands, it kind of looks like that whiskey smoke as well. Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice. The bad news is, it's because every kindred who matters is having fun at the art hole right now. Fun! Them political meetings that you have to attend so much. It's kind of like being invited into a company Christmas party, right? You dress up, you attend, you sit there, you maybe try and do small talk and go ahead in your company. You're not there to actually have fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's not like I wanted to go. I just wanted them to invite me so that I can tell them to fuck off. Spoken like a real 15-year-old emo. I scanned the entrance to the restaurant through my peripheral vision. Am I naively hoping someone will come and save me from misery? I guess I am. Please, please, please let somebody come and get me out of here. You have legs and superpowers and freedom, and you can actually interact with mortals. Pretend that you're more. Have a snack. Snack on one of the people in here. What are you doing? I only went to one barbecue made by my company. It's because I only worked for 1.5 years, and we never had one the other summer. And then afterwards, like, I left it, and now I'm working from home for a less paid job but once again, that offers me a lot more freedom in life, which is like, it's not financially sustainable permanently. I should probably get something better, but it's making me happy on the other hand. So I ain't moving from the position that I'm in. I kinda like it because once again I have a lot of freedom with it. A prince. She wants a prince. Hey, would Camarilla princess do? Yeah, but I was in one barbecue and everybody had to go, and I was fairly new. And I got too drunk because I didn't know how to say no to drinks. And I spent like 20 minutes vomiting in my boss's bathroom, and apparently because I was there, somebody had locked themselves into a bathroom that my boss was renovating at the time. And it was like a high-level senior member, and they couldn't get out for like 2 hours, but nobody noticed. And then I got a taxi, and I went home, and I took a very long bath, and it was alright, but I was so stressed and so nervous, and I got too much to drink, and that just did me in. So yeah, that wasn't a great experience. Yeah, I am literally doing graphing for well, it's an American company, but they hire Lithuanians because they can pay us only $6 an hour. So it's a very low-paid thing. But once again, I can just get up and do things. Like, be in charge of my own schedule. Sometimes I will, like, prolong my work hours into friggin' 10 p.m. Just because I'm slow. Just because I, like, go and do laundry or take some time off for myself. And so nice. Just no stress. A princess. A knight in shining armor. A fairy godmother. A passing huntsman. Big bad wolf. Mila Jovovich. Vin Diesel. Azazealia Banks. Hell, I'll take anyone at this point. You know what? Let's be super dramatic, honey. Let's just channel her for a second. I'll take your vampires and your demons and your millionaires that might want to give me $1 million. I will take it all. I would take a potion of immortality or a wizard that would tell me that I am a wizard and give me a stick and an invitation to Hogwarts at the ripe age of 26. I don't care. I would still go. And I would be like, so excited. So excited. Where's my supernatural creatures, you sulking bitch? Visualizing, tapping into the power of my subconscious, materializing my dreams. Nope, doesn't work. You haven't tried. You're not even meditating. Honey, you're not even what are you doing? You're smoking. Looks like you're eternally stuck being a nobody in the corner of a shitty restaurant, sweet little Julia. And life's a bitch, and then you don't even die. Well, first of all, you can fix the not dying bit really, really easy. I mean, just mate the sun. But, before taking any very drastic measures, how about you're a fucking Lasombra vampire? You can just go away from here. For one thing, nobody's forcing you to sit in that restaurant today. You're having a day off and you have no hobbies for some bizarre reason, and you're not even practicing your powers, which are cool as shit. Why wouldn't you be practicing obliteration? Did you see what you can do at higher levels? You only need like level 5 in order to explode people's hearts from inside by using tendrils. Shit's wrong. Go jump from shadow to shadow. Go climb buildings. Practice. You know what? Just go and get high off your goo. That's an option too. I pretend to read a book about psychoanalysis I stole from Dakota for a while. You could actually be reading the book about the psychoanalysis that you stole from Dakota for a while, especially if you're bored. Having found it too mentally taxing, I switched to pretending to read a Stephen King's books, which I also stole from Dakota, or you can actually be reading it. After the terrifying realization it was written in the last 15 years and therefore contains no amusing drugged-out rants about troubled childhood in Maine, I switched back to looking at the entrance. Is that how you rate books? Is this like one particular thing that each book has to have in order for you to, you know, feel amused by it? Oh, it's a Stephen King novel? But does it feature a drugged-out rant about his childhood in Maine? No? Then what kind of book is this? That party must be stuffy and trashy and boring. It is! At this point, I'm no longer looking for salvation. I'm asking for amusement. Dear little ball of evil, go and make your own amusement. You literally control shadows. What is wrong with... You can talk to ghosts. You could be climbing abandoned buildings right now. Screaming, what is your sex? How old are you? When have you died? So many people are having fun with that in Phasmophobia. You can do that IRL and you're not doing it. You're sitting in BBBs because... I don't know. I don't know actually. But it doesn't come All I get is boring bozos in norm-color clothes. They walk in, take care of their business without doing anything to amuse me, and walk out. Literally go and make your... I don't understand. You're undead and you have power. You have superpowers like Superman. And you're sitting in a stuffy restaurant going, this is not amusing. A few minutes after I lose all hope, a tall, elegant man marches in with spring in his step. He looks around, impatient, irritated, then he notices the person he was looking for and reacts with visible relief. He gallantly approaches my table, looks at me and says, "There you are!" Hi, Quadir! I'm sorry. Apparently I spent so much time in here that Quadir just knows to find me here. That being said, Quadir's a babe. Like, I know that he's very mean to the Lasombra, but he's just such a babe. I really love the way Quadir looks. Can I just have Quadir on my screen for like half of this novel and that would make it good? But, I feel like its main selling point is also its main downfall. It is a lot more invested into telling a story than Coteries were. And you have one per tag, and it goes very in depth. But the protag is like little emo shithead. That was a little emo shithead in reality. And everybody's super mean to you. Just because you're Lasombra. And because you're Lasombra, I know how strong and powerful you are. So I don't really understand why we don't just rip everybody a new butthole. Because I would really love to rip everybody a new butthole. Is that just me? But hey, Quadir is a babe, so we got that. Now that's curious. He shouldn't be here. Oh, those choices. Wind Diesel. Looks like my prayers were answered. Wind goddamn Diesel is here ready to take me away from this dreadful place in his shining Dodge Charger. Is Michelle Rodriguez in trouble again? Have you made up with The Rock? Will we get justice for Han? Are we going to a race? Will you teach me how to live my life a quarter mile at a time? Okay, I am amused. Like, Quadir is not gonna be amused, but I am extra amused and I would just be collapsing laughing right there. My dumb attempt at self-amusement doesn't faze him at all. He doesn't even roll his eyes, just stares at me blankly. Grab your stuff and get in my car now. His tone leaves no room for doubt. Something bad has happened. I want to ask what, but whenever he's in his I will simply ignore all the dumb shit you say mode, I know better than to ask questions. Instead, I silently follow him to the exit. He guides me to his car. I just hope I haven't messed anything up. Again, I don't think I have, but have I? Quadir's car, as usual, has magic mirrors that always stare like Quadir's like sitting right where you are. Come on, guys, this is the second game. You could have fixed the perspective by now. As usual, he gave me the back seat. Oh, yeah. Some things never change, like Quadir's magical car mirror is always uneasy when the passenger seat is taken. Doesn't want anyone to limit his perpetual vision, he says. That you just need somebody sitting in like this exact spot for the mirror magic to work, and he just feels so much better when his mirror magic is working. Normally I would catch him observing me in the rearview mirror, but this time he's watching the streets. I can't tell, honestly. I can't tell because of those eyes that are staring like directly at where I'm sitting. More tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. Got my seatbelt on and my popcorn ready. What's up? The awkward silence feels like it will last for forever. No, it doesn't. Like, just, Eventually he finds the right words and speaks up. 6 weeks ago, the prince told me to parlay with anarchs in the docks, remember? No, because the story didn't take me there, duh. Yeah, and you made me tag along so that I could learn something about politics, and it turned out politics meant something awfully similar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at the wedding party. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil. The meanest one in the room, their leader. White hair, a monocle, musty clothes. With this fucking Pollock cunt. Scrooge McDuck, yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panic, old-time bravado and gendered insults flung my way. What was his name? Something British made me think of Hollywood? Callahan? Baron Callahan. Douglas Boss Callahan. Right, it's 2020, but the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in 1920. Weren't the anarchs supposed to be like the progressive option? I never understood why they put up with him. He has his ways of predicting which way the wind will blow. Anytime Camarilla or the SI hit the anarchs, it was the factions opposed to him that were hurt. The luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't believe in luck. I don't, but it sure looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Huh? Wait, don't tell me. We're gonna kill him? What? Just what? No, absolutely not. Looks like I missed the mark by a mile. Even if, and that's a big if, an idea like this wasn't completely opposed to everything Prince Panhard has been doing over the past few years, his tone sounds as if he was addressing a particularly dumb child. The worst part is I probably deserve it. There wouldn't be any need for that. The man has ceased to exist. Yeah, that's what I want. Come on. I know that Lasombra are absolutely great leaders, and that's why Ventru despised their guts. Funnily, Tremere despised Assamites because Assamites are better at magic than Tremere are. But... thank you! Yeah. I wasn't gonna wear it because it was too long, and then the friggin' chain snapped. And it actually lost just like a couple of links the moment I thought I wasn't gonna wear it. Because I think that with this outfit, it's too long. And it just like snapped, and I had to put it back together, and it lost a few like chain links. And I'm like, well, life, it's not too long now. I guess you kinda want me to wear it. Yep, it's because I bought some jewelry. And you know what? I also have a choker with a cross. So I can be wearing like a Christian cross, a pentacle, and an ankh, all in a line. I also have one with Alice the Wonderland bunny, like, because I have all of that jewelry set. So sometimes I go with the bunny, sometimes I go with this. Wait, he's dead? Deader than dead? I like the aesthetics, man. I do. Which is once again funny because I'm kind of following the demonic Bible right now and it's legitimately giving me energy, so I'm just gonna continue on this road. I don't mind. It's not really asking me to sacrifice chickens. I ain't hurting anybody, so I'm just gonna continue doing whatever I'm doing to make myself feel good. So it kind of also goes with what the hell I'm doing. Exactly! I'm 99% sure that bastard met his final death. How do you know? We got trustworthy sources in the Anarch inner circles. Looks like all hell is about to break loose. There's an emergency meeting at the art hole. The art hole. Jesus, and you're bringing me with you? Why? Because you were on the way, because I could, because I should. You might not be important to the members of the court, but you're still an asset to the sect, symbolically at least. I can justify sneaking you into the party, claiming it's for your own protection. As always, my very own Vin Diesel takes care of his familia. Shh. Wait a minute, though. The party is still happening? I called the prince, told her the best source of action is stopping it, and started listing security protocols I have prepared for these sorts of situations. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party is that important, huh? Politics. Politics is that important. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or himself. And once again, politics sound an awful lot like a bunch of party-loving assholes shouting at each other. Don't worry, this isn't the kind of, how should I call it, governing issue the likes of you and I tend to deal with. And how would you describe the governing issues we tend to deal with? Shoveling ourselves out of shit. As usual, he seems a little embarrassed for cussing, or for being too honest. Either way, it's cute. Oh, I agree. I agree. It is cute. Quadir's a babe. Quadir's a babe. It is cute. I just love... Quadir cares. Even though he keeps on calling us whelp and putting us down, Quadir actually cares. That's why he picks us up. That's why he puts us in front of important people. He's like, go, my little Lasombra, and dominate. And you just kind of fumble about, and he's like, oh, well, that's sad. Quadir's a babe. No argument here. That's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off toward the unknown. I'm not a New York City Baron, the Baron of New York City, if you please. I'm sorry, Callaghan's memory. What difference does it make? Once more, a memory of an old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crosses my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Sayonara, asshole. And here I am at the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight, the art hall. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seems lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? Ah yes, couldn't have happened to a nicer corpse. No idea, do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's a bouncer? Yes, and he's standing right in front of you. Just start walking, whelp. If only Quadir didn't call us a whelp all the time. I still absolutely love it. I love the way that he's wearing his hair, and the way that his eyes glow, and his necklace, and he looks a lot healthier than he did in the first game. Good for you, Quadir. Are you doing some soul healing? And here I am among partying elites. It's as stuffy and boring as I expected, but hey, at least it's exclusive. You got in. Hurrah for you. And I don't think that they have changed the paintings for years now. What a gallery. The title Panhard came up with for these yearly gatherings is called Celebrations of Power. An invitation to re-examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the spaces they inhabit. What? The week-long event is packaged as a sort of performance art piece meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate their potential instead of despairing at their monstrous nature. We need to counter-program the omnipresent images of tragic vampirism with images that remind us we have inherited the earth and are now free to remake it in our own image. It's the way our prince puts it. Wow, that's an ego and a half. You're a tiny little vampire ant that's crawling on a tiny little vampire pavement. in a place that used to be owned by Sabat, but is currently not owned by Sabat because all the Sabat fucked off the Middle East, and when they come back, it's theirs again. But sure, you remake the Earth in your image, I'll leave you to it. To this end, she organizes a series of exhibits, concerts, fireworks, parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. I shake my head for some reason. My prince? Quadir, finally. I don't know who you're trying to be, but I am loving the headpiece. A saint with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. Apparently Angel. There is only one kind of angel that I accept these days. And I absolutely implore somebody to like dress up as them. Let me just do this. Do this thing. Yep. There we go. That is a biblical angel. I actually saw somebody make a Christmas decoration where instead of a star, you have that at the top of your tree. Which is absolutely... Yep, I do want to see that costume. Some people come in to occult discords that I frequent and they're like, could it be that in my past life I was an angel? And people are like, if you were, you would be absolutely incapable of understanding even the tiniest bit of memory from that, because that would be completely alien to us. But one person made a joke saying, imagine just thinking that you're a human and not knowing that you're an angel, and then one day you sprout a whole bunch of eyes and all of your friends set on fire and you're like, whoopsie doopsie, I was an angel all along. And I can't shake that image out of my head. I honestly can't shake the image of that out of my head. Yep, well, my bad! Take a good look around. Half of the figures here are dressed like they're attending a masked ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. I have to admit, I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panhard based it on psychomagic, a sort of shamanic psychotherapy using the power of art. I'm in the occult and I have not a single freaking clue about what you're talking about, and sometimes people put out complete batshit sentences, and over time I start to understand them, but nope, that doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, exactly. And I know such great words as psychopomp, which is actually the person that guides the dead to the afterlife, but as one person put it, it's kind of like calling a surgeon a popcorn machine fixer. Like, you absolutely do not put the two and two together there, because the term is like so alien to what it actually means. Simply put, it's a holy mass and unholy mass in equal measures, a set of rituals meant to make the participants wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best this earth has to offer. I'm sorry, the worst and the best this earth has to offer, but if half of them are dressed as demons and the other half of them are dressed as angels, then angels will just be like, I art better than thou, while the demons are like, oh, I guess I'm evil then. Put on this mask at the very least, you're standing out. Amongst kindred of New York, who's gonna... I mean, surely all of them know me. I mean, I've been working here for a year. Who's gonna care? Here. Is that supposed to be a demon? Because to me it's a horned kitten and it's very cute. I heard the aesthetic basis for these parties is Black Mass in the film Eyes Wide Shut. Some think this decision means Panhard is tone deaf, but it's quite the contrary. Yeah, it is quite a unique take on yin-yang. But I mean, yin-yang is less like black and white and more like a very well-stirred coffee. Like, both things just really, really are inseparable. It's not that one is inherently bad and the other one's inherently good. She knows the anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through art and rhetoric that point out glaring contradictions in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the elite, she embraces them. Instead of risking a Streisand effect, she effectively defangs the opposition. With symbolism! You know, if anarchs are fighting her with symbolism, I'm kind of tempted to remember all of those, like, lame kids that would, like, go to photos, like, school or, like, posters of people and, like, put horns on them? Is that what the anarchs are doing? Is that what the anarchs are doing? The resistance becomes a part of the system, and both the Cameral and the anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as pathology, think of it as the new normal. I'll collect the key advisors. I've already been told to come here. I don't think there's a need for us to hold the meeting in a particularly secluded place. We'll just do it over here, where everybody can overhear. Then again, once again, it's just New York. Yeah, actually, that's fine. Jade, I have 3 words for you. New World Order. Honestly, it was parroted enough that even I believe the conspiracy that the whole world's government is conspiring to do something. Just because they use those 3 words all over the world. Or build back a new better? Oh, yeah, build back better, or what was it? It's just, it sounded so culty. It sounded so culty, and I don't think that people, yep. I don't think that a single person was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with build back better. That sounds great. Because even if you're trying to give a positive message, it literally comes off as a conspiracy theory of the government around the world is trying to pull something dirty. I have no proof of this, but I just have this feeling, and the fact that they're giving me code-like messages all over the world in all the advertisement is not making me shake off this feeling, sorry. Are you certain? Absolutely. Wait, is that Miss Sovinsky I see behind you? I'll just let Quadir talk. I collected her on my way here because of her role as a Lasombra representative. So it wasn't even us that she handed the mask to, it was him. We were not even... They do not even acknowledge our existence. You know, Sabat might be really brutal and we would be witnessing all sorts of experiments that include, I don't know, edging words into your skin and then cutting that skin off in order to put it in a book because that was in Beckett's Jihad diary. And people doing that voluntarily, it would be very cruel. But at the very least, they would acknowledge our existence. Just say political hostage. You people have made it perfectly clear what's gonna happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. True. True. That is actually an awful thought. We now know why she stuck out. So parents... She's a migrant? And, the church was talking about her, like, real-life family. That's all the way in another country, so I'm gonna assume that what they mean was a Lasombra of Chicago. In which case, I know one of them and they fucked off back like really fast, leaving me here. The rest can burn in hell. They're all traitors to the glory of the Sabbat clan. They all deserve it, whatever's gonna happen to them. Let's go anti-tribute. Let's run. Let's just do a runny. Better places to be. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the art hole. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Let her stay with you for now, all is mine. Time is of the essence. Ah yes, Thomas, I love your mask. It doesn't really stay on your face and you have to hold it up with a stick at all times. That must be very comfortable arrangement. And apparently you also don't like drop it when you start talking business. You're just standing there holding it. I didn't notice him sneak up on us. Nice getup. Are you absolutely sure? But of course, everything we say here is going to become an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Panhard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl towards the basement, led like a lamb to the slaughter. You know, I have no issues with them, like, eating from people. Apparently it's quite nice and everything. I have the issue with lamb to the slaughter bit. You're planning on eating her whole? Best not to think too deeply about what's going on underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I would like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, Smile. All of the appropriate security protocols for you are already active. Me and the prince have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control. Never let anyone sleep any easier. Alasmai, I know as the prince's sword, you're acting for blood, but you have to accept that like most weapons known to men, you're most effective hidden in the sheath. Listen here now. Looks like a fascinating philosophical discussion in the making, but sadly I'm forced to interrupt. Prince Panhard. All of a sudden, Samira appears between the two men, her calm and collected voice completely changing the atmosphere, as expected for a self-professed protector of peace. I like Samira too. She's the best character so far. Samira, I hope you're enjoying yourself. To be quite honest, I feel out of place. She nods and smiles at me, probably to signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of water. Oh. She's being nice to us by saying that, and she's in a high enough position to be like, no, actually this party is making me uncomfortable. What a shitty party. Which a Toreador would obviously take great offense to, by the way. Especially now, seeing as I heard this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense! We have a delicate matter to discuss, one that might require severe judgment down the road. I think you understand why I wished for a child of Hakim to be involved. Of course. What is with that expression on your face, Quadir? Look who's joining us! The High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, Lady Eiling Sternbridge, walks into our group in an outfit I would have never imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the course. Prince Panhard, the Sheriff, the Harpy, the Banu Hakim Primogen, are we still waiting for someone? I actually love it. I love her outfit. I love the horns. Kinda wish I had them. I just... It's just her facial expression is so dead. It's like she's highly not amused. You all need some happiness slapped into you, folks. All of you. I honestly think that Panhard is trying, but it's not going very well. He's almost here. Shining even more brightly than usual, Eiling. I adore your outfits, Samira. Wish the prince allowed the same amount of effort from me. I, for one, am glad she didn't. I particularly love those horns. Me too, Quadir. Me too. Though Quadir is making the snide remark here saying, you're the devil. Well, I'm just all like, I legitimately stand the horns. I would make a great Desmetsi because I would just be like, oh, that horn, copying right now. I don't care that this thins my bone elsewhere. I am making some right now. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Oh well, this will do for now, but you're not off the hook yet. Paid a costly price to see you like this. Both Quadir's and the prince's voices are strained whenever they attempt humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere and it's not a happy place. Arthur, on the other hand, seems calm. We all celebrate our power in different ways, I suppose. Now, what is this about? Just a moment. Over here, Addison! The Camarilla's infamous spokesman approaches, pushed towards us in a wheelchair by his servant. Aline, everybody, I certainly hope this is something important. I have so many questions. Okay, I'm gonna start my question from the servant has glowy eye, right? He is at the very least gold, but I believe that the game doesn't give you glowy eyes unless you're a vampire. Now, if you look at Bloodlines, not every vampire has glowy eyes. I'm trying to think about the Beckett's Jihad Diary. Most of like Beckett's stuff is like just picture of Beckett, honestly. But no, I don't think that there's a requirement for vampires to have glowy eyes. Nope. Okay. Okay, I arrived at book's portrayal of Smiling Jack. Which honestly looked like that. Which is funny because this is also book's portrayal of Smiling Jack, but that proves to me that vampires do not need to have glowy eyes, but they do. They definitely, in this game, they definitely do. So I am gonna infer from that whatever that guy is not a ghoul. Right? It is definitely not a ghoul. He has to have been sired as a servant, but then his eyes are like, why? Was he originally blind? Do you need your servants to be blindfolded? The only time I heard anybody blindfolding their servants was when I saw a one-shot that featured Salubri, and the Salubri didn't want her servants to know that they were cleaning up blood of, like, their surgery room. So they would blindfold the mortals and, like, push them in to do the cleaning job. But, I mean, Sabbat tend to even have blind vampires, but why would you bother to blindfold them? Okay, what a commanding tone. Seeing as Pain can't communicate normally, his servant relays his words to us instead. And he's posh and snobby enough to make me believe I'm listening to his master's voice. Are they like mind-linked? Carter won't be joining us. He gave me a fair warning he might not make it tonight and messaged him the details. That does sound difficult. But I mean, literally, Sabbat have actually blind people as kindred. I've heard of one person who's playing a ghoul in RPG, in like a tabletop thing. And they're playing a Malkavian ghoul who has been blinded by their masters. Because the Malkavian wanted to see if Auspex would still work. Because if you're a ghoul, you actually get level 1 of abilities. And yes, Auspex still works. So technically, if you're a kindred, you can be walking around seeing everybody's auras just fine, even if you're completely blind. You just wouldn't, like, see their normal shapes and shit. So blindness, honestly, wouldn't be an end-all, be-all. It's not complete blindness if you're undead. I'll have to find time to meet him later then. Finding time searching for lost time, I swear it's all I do nowadays. And there's never enough. I guess now you understand why I insisted that this event must last all week. So many esteemed guests, many of them from out of town, each deserving at least a few hours. Figure in the wheelchair waves his hand impatiently. Yes, let's just cut to the chase now, shall we? Oh! The sound of people talking suddenly disappeared when Quadir appeared on screen. I'm in awe on him too, so I don't blame them. This might be the wisest course of action, my prince. Arturo? My prince, everyone, let me begin by stressing these important points. The situation is largely under control. Negotiations are underway and the situation is more tense than dangerous. We are safe. Let me repeat, we are safe. And with that out of the way, here's the big news. Baron Callaghan, de facto leader of Anarchs in New York City, met his final death in his office tonight. And as he says these words, everybody like super freaks probably. Somebody's beast activates and they bolt out of the room. Yes. This is kind of like the pilot speaking over the radio with the plane in the air going, "We're not falling. It's under the control. You might see the left engine on fire, but that's okay because we still have the right one. Do not panic." How did you find out? We have a good friend near his office. Their intel is as accurate as it gets. We also established a negotiation channel with the Anarchs to give us all the confirmation we needed. Was our court involved in his destruction? I look at her in disbelief, so does everyone else. Not that same thought hasn't passed through my head, but to simply exclaim it like that. Oh, spare me the virtue signaling. I thought we were being transparent here. I don't give a damn if we took care of Callaghan or not. I just wanna have a clear idea of what I'm dealing with. I agree with Eiling in here. Yes, a clear answer is what I need to. To my knowledge, none of us present here ordered his destruction, nor did we participate in it. Unless somebody wants to confess, it's now or never. Of course nobody speaks up. Arturo pretends to clear his throat. That's our official position as well. The Camarilla's ruling body has nothing to do with it, and for all intents and purposes, his Anarch contenders had more interest in removing him than we did. That interest is sure to manifest in one way now. His former enemies will prop him up as a martyr for the cause. Yes, which is why we sadly can't just leave the Anarchs to their own devices. As much as I would like to avoid recognizing their sect in any way, we offered to assist them in the official investigation. Addison Payne's wrinkled face contorts slightly. Let me just ask you one question. You do realize these curs have no respect for our traditions, yes? We do, Addison, but as veteran politician, you should be deeply familiar with the words controlled opposition. Yes, for now it's impossible to fully contain the anarch threat in New York. For now, our only option is to prop up a candidate who will offer the least resistance to our future plans for the city, which is what Thomas Arthur had to do in the first place. He had, like, both sides played. Is this just like a kindred thing in this game where everybody's eyes glow like orange to red? Because I'm kinda digging it. I like orange to red. It's pretty. We extend our hand to the most promising contender, give him a way to present himself as a diplomat, a man of reasonable compromise. The rabble falls in line, the purists grow angry and alienated. We already contacted the best possible person in their sect. He will oversee the investigation. It's in his best interest to show he's able to resolve the situation calmly. Is that good enough? Addison ponders the question for a while, then waves his hand again. It is! Proceed. Funny thing, nobody's paying any attention to me right now. You weird-ass Lasombra, Attention whore, what? Why would they pay attention to you? The adults are talking in the room right now. Like, sit down and listen. Though I say adults, but New York Camarilla is so pathetic because nobody is actually old. Nobody is actually old. There are cities where 2,000-year-old vampires are actually battling each other in active battles. And then there's New York, where everybody's like 50. Keep in mind, Mr. Payne, our man's people will still barely tolerate us, and the situation is volatile. The other factions within the sorry excuse for a sect might still try to escalate the conflict. So just to put it into perspective, there's actually parts of the world where Gehenna and Jihad are like real worries, and then you have New York that's just petty squabbles between young people. I will do my best to solve the situation as fast as possible. How so? Quadir is momentarily taken aback by Arthur's question. I volunteered to coordinate the case with the Anarchs, of course. I refuse. You have more important duties to focus on. Once more, Quadir is stunned. All due respect, Prince, but if you don't consider me capable of tackling this issue and attending to my usual duties at the same time, I think you gravely underestimate me. Your penchant for working yourself to the bone is well known and appreciated by everyone in this room, Sheriff, but so is your perfectionism. If we do grant your wish and let you investigate while still fulfilling your routine obligations, can you guarantee we're going to give both these tasks your best? I can guarantee something very close to my best. Close to your best doesn't cut it, Alasmai. Not when the vultures are out in force. Calican's destruction is sure to cause unrest among the Anarchs, and there's an obvious outlet for their pent-up rage. I want to make this perfectly clear. The celebrations will continue as planned no matter what. This is why your presence here is absolutely necessary, Sheriff. We rely on your constant protection. I'm sorry, Panhard. I'm sorry. But, you literally just... You were like, you know what? Having a happy time above the Anarch unrest. Why not just to have another celebration sometime later? Not that hard. Of course, my prince, we must be on constant vigil for a few days, as my sword must be constantly pointed at the enemies surrounding us. The timing of the Baron's destruction is impeccable. The Anarch leaders are sure to point at us and claim we're shamelessly celebrating his end. Does anybody believe it's just a coincidence? Murders are messy, almost as messy as politics. It's impossible to reliably predict the outcome of any violent action. I think it would be wise of us to brace for a lot of unfortunate coincidences, Eileen. In any case, the rabble can't get the impression that their power struggles are of great concern to us, but they also can't think we have something to hide, which brings me to my point. We do need a symbolic gesture, one displaying expertly measured intensity. My best bet is a humble diplomatic envoy, a low-level official acting as an investigator of sorts. I implore you, Prince. Quadir. He bites his tongue and struggles to collect himself. I rarely see him lose his temper, at least where Camarilla is involved. What is going on? What is going on is that your head's on the platter, Missy. That's what's going on. They're gonna send you, and they're gonna be like, you solve the situation or else. And the situation might not necessarily be solvable. And Quadir knows this, so it's just why Quadir is all like, please don't. Yep. And they're like, Quadir, we're doing this. And he's like, please don't. I wonder about your suggestion for this role. After all, it's not particularly prestigious, but carries a lot of responsibility. We're still talking about a Camarilla representative. Oh, I think there's a very obvious candidate. Both you and Quadir look at me simultaneously. Everyone else in the room does too. Now wait a second, he can't possibly mean. Miss Julia, once again, your full name eludes me at the moment. Am I allowed to speak, or maybe I should wait for permission? Before I make up my mind, the sheriff sighs deeply and speaks up. Sowinski! Miss Julia Sowinski, right. I understand you used to be an investigative journalist before your embrace. That was like a whole year ago. Yep, that's correct. Among others, the Banu Hakim Primogen insisted that you are worthy of greater privileges and should be given a chance to prove yourself. Samira measures Arturo with suspicion. Yes. You still think she's capable? She looks me deep in the eye. Swear she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, 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 don't fuck this up, you dumbass little white girl? Of course. I think there's a bigger issue here. These kind of tests, they're never like a straightforward thing. They're a thing that's set up to make you fail. If any of them actually orchestrated his murder, that would mean that you can't actually... You just can't. You can't solve it. Even if you put all the pieces of the puzzle together and got the full picture, you couldn't actually report it in. It's a lose-lose situation. It's just... Yeah, let's just pack our bags and go. Fuck the Chicago Lasombra, we'll just never go there. Of course. Good, and I'm sure that you, Alasmai, have no problem with your protege embarking on this mission. Save for the pain a mother feels when watching her child leave the nest. Whether I do or don't is not particularly important right now, is it? Quadir hit the nail on the head. It absolutely is. Aw, Panhard, you're nice. Panhard's backing of Arturo momentarily blindsides him. Prince Panhard, Arturo's plan is reckless. I want you to tell me. I need a simple yes or no answer. Is the girl capable? Now he knows he's left with no choice. I wouldn't trust her with all the responsibilities that I have if she wasn't. What? No, he wouldn't entrust us with the responsibilities if I wasn't. So he's saying that we are. I'm great at reading sentences sometimes. He exchanges glances with me, but his look is different than Samira's. It's as if he's trying to apologize to me. Here we are then, a recommendation from the Banu Hakim Primogen and the sheriff. To tell you the truth, I was just throwing out ideas, but with this backing, I can't doubt the Knights Clan representative will get the job done. I'm certain each of us feels that same, Mr. Payne. The atmosphere in the room mostly suggests people are glad they don't have to discuss this topic further. A shrug here and averted gaze there. It is as you say, I will watch the way she handles the situation with great interest. Well then, Miss Sowinski, looks like you got your chance for a big break. What conditions can we even have? Okay, I have conditions. Big break doesn't mean much by itself. All I see is a big responsibility being placed on my shoulders. What do I stand to gain here exactly? Even though I would normally jump at the chance to be useful, I play it cool. All of a sudden, not only everyone acknowledges my existence, but believes I can handle solving a tense criminal case? Something seems too good to be true. Let's not be vulgar now. You stand to improve your standing at the court. Yes, we can discuss the particulars based on your performance. Yeah, they don't plan on giving me shit. Figures. It's not like I can refuse, but this is something I need to take into account while taking care of this case. I need a bargaining position if I want to get anything out of this. Yes, I'll do it. Just point me in the right direction. Tell me what to do. Excellent. That leaves us with only one more matter, which I hope we can all agree on. Prince Panhard signals someone with their hand. The figure emerges from behind the corner. Good evening! Catherine, what a pleasant surprise. Nobody informed us you are in town. Addison, looking healthier than ever. And what does Vice have to do with it? We need an impartial observer who everyone respects, and as it happens, Catherine always knew how to make friends on both sides without angering either. I beg to differ. I'll be grateful if just for once you decided against throwing a tantrum about me, High Regent. Oof. Ah, look, her Vice's eyes glow green instead of red. That's nice. Not everybody gets to have red eyes. And you know what I do? I am kind of jelly of her figure. I know it's because she was embraced as a teenager, but like ever since I hit my mid-20s, like 25, I kind of widened out a bit. So even though I still wear the exact same clothes, and clothes in like the exact same sizes, I am now slightly wider than I was. Like you can see it in my cheeks, you can see it in my neck, you can see it in my stomach. And look at her teenage figure. Yeah. I know that feel, Jade. I know that feel. I don't encourage people to be frozen in their teenage years just because how difficult they are and their minds are not developed, and it's just not a good idea because they're just gonna be little rebellious shits because that's what you are. But her figure, god damn, I wish I had that. I should get some corsets. Painful grimace crosses Eiling's face, but she is quick to interpret the taunt as an invitation to a game she can't possibly win. As long as she can prove herself useful to the proceedings in some way. If half of what I've heard about her from Mr. van der Weyden is true, she should be able to. And what did poor Carter say about me this time? Nothing specific. One always had to read between the lines with him, but it was mostly envy. Miss Weiss gracefully agreed to mediate between the Anarch representative and the Lasombra representative, ensuring mutual cooperation, mitigating potential conflicts. That felt like a Freudian slip of Lasombra representative, not Camarilla representative, i.e. someone who can be catapulted from the sect without much damage to the ivory tower if they mess up. Yup. Is there a meeting set up? Arturo looks at the clock on the other side of the room. Less than an hour, you better hurry then. What the hell? All of this is happening so fast. If the situation is indeed under control, I will drive her and oversee the situation. Out of the question, you got your orders, Sheriff. Attend to those. You fool, the girl needs guidance. It's that Straussian effect shining through. Where everybody loves the word guidance. Like, I actually agree with it here. Like, Quadir is being very fatherly to us, which I love. I do. He's such a nice baby. But, just that word, guidance. Once again, they would offer Lamp their guidance if they could. And we need yours. Nobody knows what might happen next, but it's not as if the Anarchs have a lot of love for you, Alice-sama. You're too efficient in your duties for them to tolerate. You better spare Miss Savinsky having to see you two together. Do you think my guidance of Julius would be lacking, Quadir? I never said that. So do you have any objections to putting her under my care? Lowers his gaze, but seems reassured. None whatsoever. That's all I need to hear. We'll be going then. Wasting no time as usual, I see. Have you at least tried the aperitifs? Waiting is an old person's game, Helene. I still feel young. I feel that's like her physical age. Remember, if there's anything you need help with. Probably not, but I appreciate the thought nevertheless. Have a great night, everybody. I'll catch with you later, Addison. I certainly hope you do. And so we leave in a rush. Funny considering what she told me about being in a hurry yesterday. We're here. She thanks the chauffeur and lets me out of the car in a quiet neighborhood somewhere in Queens. Seems like you were in a rush. I couldn't stand the crowd. She's honest. Probably performatively so, just to get into my good graces. Well, it's working. It would be working with me too. I couldn't stand that crowd either. Posh. Posh wannabe Camarillas! And why is that? In my experience, gatherings like these always enable a boring pack mentality. All the familiar lies we tell ourselves to justify lusting for more repeated ad nauseum. Speaking of physical age, from Beckett's Jihad Diary, there's a 400-year-old Tremere inside Chicago that's stuck in a child's bod. And, not only is that, like, the creepiest shit possible, but, Camarilla always having one brain cell turn at a time, because I swear, vampires, they get a bit dumber after they embrace. It's probably all the brain cells that die. Sometimes infantilize him, despite the fact the person's like 400 years old. Like, would you do that to a dwarf? No, so why do you do that to him just because he looks like an 8-year-old boy? What lies are you telling yourself? Our aura immediately turns colder. You have bigger issues to worry about, sweetheart. Oh well, at least now I know how familiar I can get with her. That I do. Back at the art hole, you said something about guiding me, but I have zero idea what to do, none whatsoever. I have a few necessary arrangements to make over the phone before we got here to ensure you pretty little head stays attached to your neck for now anyway. I'm grateful, but I still feel way out of my depth. I need to know what to do. Used to make a living as an investigative journalist, did you not? Investigate the murder. In TV shows where an investigative journalist gets too close to the heart of a politically incendiary case, it rarely goes well. Cat's head on the porch, a bullet to the head. So are you afraid you might be a pawn in a game you don't understand? That your elders consider you a disposable asset? That a single wrong move might cost you everything you hold dear? That sounds about right, yeah? Well, by the sound of it, you understand your situation perfectly. Don't belittle me, I need your advice. Be anything you want, but don't be boring, Julia. If I wanted to belittle you, I would have drowned you in platitudes long ago. This, sentence, it strikes me. Be anything you want, but don't be boring it. I don't think that this is Ekaterina device. That almost sounds like our Lasombra sire. Considering that, the Sombra would be close with Desmitzi, and Desmitzi are flesh crafters. Know thyself, believe in your strength, trust no one, act confident, turn the cheese board around and read your opponent's mind. Read Sun Tzu and quote him incessantly. Say, do you feel any better now? Be anything you want, but don't be boring. Can I ask you something? Seeing as Mia is still not here, of course. Do you know who killed Baron Carrigan? I haven't the slightest idea. Were you emotionally impacted by his death? Not at all. Did you know him? Only passingly, I'm afraid. Expected him to perish sooner than later, so I never bothered to improve our relationship. Why are you helping me? Am I? That remains to be seen. What do you mean? You do not want a painfully honest answer? But I do. She stares me down. Her irrelevant tone makes it impossible to guess what she's feeling, even more so than the mask. When I look at you, I see someone pitiful. Someone whose hunger is purely biological, just an animalistic rush. When I saw a burgeoning plan to put you in a situation that is way beyond your capabilities, I offered my help. I was curious to see your true color reveal themselves firsthand. When everything is said and done and Callaghan's killer is pointed out, will you be whimpering animal or Victor taking the spoils? I cannot wait to find out. Don't know what to say. Is she provoking me or... Mia should be here any second. You have time for one more question. Why do you hide your face? Yes, there is a reason why I hide my face, and yes, you are being rude. Sorry, just curious. Understand, but let's just say I prefer everyone to come up with their own theories. The more stories they'll invent, the less relevant the truth will be. But anyway, here's Mia. Aww! Is your mouthy sad? Is your mouthy bad? Does your mouthy have a toothy grin? All piranha-y and stuff. A woman around my age emerges from round the corner of the street. Oof! She looks different. Like, she actively she looks serious. Like, previously you just kind of saw her as a pupil that was following her grandsire. And she was kind of this ditzy, innocent girl despite everything that she witnessed. If she was standing in a position of Nines Rodriguez with this picture, I would not doubt her authority right now. It's like she's using friggin', I don't know, presents or something on us because, oof. Never met her before, but if I had to describe her in 2 words per aura alone, I would guess those words would be permanently angry. Sums up majority of current Bruja, honestly. Even more so than your average anarch. It must be Catherine Weiss. And you must be Mia Morgan. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. The pleasure's mutual. This is your girl? Julia Sovinsky, the Lasombra Primogen. The Lasombra representative. I'm the 1-year-old Primogen, in word only. Correct her automatically, at this point it's a habit. Good, if you were a Primogen, I might have tried to kill you here and now. This Torque's still on the side. I told him I would take it from here. By the end of the night, he needs to look like a natural candidate for the leader of the New York Anarchs. It's gonna take a lot of driving around in negotiations. How did he react to finding Callaghan's remains? He hasn't exactly elaborated on his feelings, but I expect he reached the same way every true believer in the cause did. It's this complicated mess of all the possible feelings under the moon. So he was the first one who took the murder site. So he was the first one who to the murder site. I'm sorry, this does not a question make. What? Yep, I think we're missing a word. Oh, so you're already calling it a murder site. Does the Ivory Tower know something we don't? It's not the official position, but I expect a lot of them to think it's Torque who stood to benefit the most from the boss's death. And it sounds like he's quick to jump on new opportunities. Julia, stop being a pisshead to the possible suspects right now. This is like really bad investigative journalistic work. Imagine if police go, "We want to take you for questioning because you were around, you were around the area of murder and everything. There was a murder that happened." And then they take you to the questioning and they're like, "You stand to benefit the most, so you might be the murderer." It's like, immediately you don't want to share information. You don't know him. Mia has a point. Yeah, but I'd love to meet him and ask him some questions. Especially if he was the one who found the body. I was about to say, Anarchs just said that they're not too sure that it was a murder. And I was like, do you mean that there wasn't a body? But then I was like, oh, you might think that it's a suicide. Well, if you're meeting Torque at all, it won't be tonight. He's too busy. I was assigned to investigate. I won't be able to do it properly if I'm not able to question the key witness. And you can't do it some other day, girl. The key witness is not going anywhere. He's running for the Anarch leader. I'll arrange for him to see you this week. This week? Aren't the tensions a little too high for delaying an investigation like this? Julia, you have the whole eternity. Literally nothing is going anywhere. Well, Torque's work is our best shot at making sure they won't get higher, so boo fucking who. I'm his right-hand woman, though. You got any questions? Direct them at me. I am so in Mia's ballpark right now. I would be so standing behind her right now, especially with that really intimidating image of her right now. I'm loving this new Mia. Maybe the two of you should just head to Kagan's office. The discussion here does not seem to be going in the right direction. Not a particularly interesting one. You're not coming? Torque and you are not the only ones who have their work cut out for them tonight. I trust you can take it from here. And Mia, be easy on her. In slightly different circumstances, I expect the two of you would have ended up on the same side of the barricades. Uh-huh. Take care. She heads back to her vehicle. Well, follow me, I'll show you his place. Ooh. Ooh. Shiny and zoomy! And shiny and zoomy! It's a 19th century style office, classical, wooden, smelly. The stuffy air of books, old furniture, and dust covers much of the fragrance of decay, but not all of it. I am getting vertigo from the effects here. This is the first time I've seen the remains of a vampire or has met final death. I heard stories of really old kindred crumbling to dust, but that's an exaggeration at least. It didn't happen here. When kindred die, time catches up to them. If they offed me right now, I would probably turn into an ugly, leaky corpse. But Callahan was well over a century old. It's like looking at a dapper mummy. A desiccated body in a heap of musty clothes. All that is left of the mighty boss Douglas Callaghan, another Baron of New York City, if that's really him. Needless to say, it might be a little hard to establish the time of death or the cause, especially as his garb doesn't have any obvious damage. Can you stop looking around the office, please? Because I am not kidding about this vertigo shit. What a great place to start. The office stopped moving. The office stopped moving. Have you already found anything suspicious? Nothing you don't see in front of you. Aha. The door is the only point of entry to the room, right? Yep, unless you count the windows, but nobody except for Kagan know how to operate those, and they don't let air or light through. Metal blinders on the windows facing east. The only modern element of the room sticking out like a sore thumb. They look automated. Was the door open when Torque got here? That's the one suspicious thing. It wasn't. It's as if Callaghan locked himself in from the inside. Post-room murder, huh? Got some glass scattered on the floor. I point at it. Could that be from the window? I checked it from the outside. It's in perfect condition. So what's this glass? I have no idea. Why does it seem like she has her suspicions but is remaining uncooperative just because fuck off Camarilla scum? I checked the next point of interest. The wall safe, surprisingly large. I play with the lock a bit. What's the combination? It's Kagan's. What makes you think I know? At least I tried. Desk with nothing but an envelope on it, nothing inside. I check all the drawers. Every single one has been thoroughly emptied. Don't know what I expected. Is this how anarchs go around securing crime scenes? Were these emptied before Torque arrived? Don't know, but I wouldn't accuse him of tampering with evidence if I were you. Well, thank you. The decor of the room is pretty minimal, so there's not a lot of points of interest that could illuminate the case. I start to get nervous. I can imagine a few different kindred that could go into a room while ignoring the door. Lasombra, higher level, can teleport to any shadow. And they can view shadows. It has to be like in their view range, but they can like remote view a shadow. So somebody could like remote view into the room, locate a shadow, and just like teleport in. But at the same time, Protean discipline. I think it's Protean that does it. Beckett uses it. And so would Tizmitzi, especially old Dracul, because they also have Protean. There's quite a lot of vampires running around with Protean, honestly. At higher levels, it allows you to turn yourself into mist. So you could just kind of sloop under the door without, you know, touching it, or through a keyhole. Like, you don't need to be physical. Yep. So, a lot of vampires could get into the room completely fine, no matter it was closed or open. My biggest suspicion in here would be the friggin' glass. I would be trying to figure out where the glass came from, what kind of shape it held before it was on the floor. I feel like that is very important, because whatever the glass encased is probably missing, so knowing the shape that the glass took before it was there on the floor might be a very good idea. Point at the painting on the wall. Of course you have no idea who that is. Elegant's ancestor, I guess? I'm out of ideas. Everything looks and feels like another dead end. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I would guess that it was like somewhere here. But yeah, it would have to be. It would legitimately have to be on like the opposite side of the window. You wouldn't like lay out glass. Like move the glass over if you committed a murder. Right? It would just be where it fell. I'm frustrated. I feel as if I failed this investigation before it had even started. There must be something more. Start walking around trying to find a single clue. Mia just watches me indifferently. Give me anything. Anything, goddamn. Anything. Okay, I felt that. This isn't a horror game. I felt that. Shadow made my heart do a thunk, which pumped blood directly into my hand, which is now very, tingly. So there's that. That's not to say that I normally don't have a heartbeat. That's to say that my heartbeat has increased momentarily. Just putting that out to the internet. Don't have funny ideas. A shadow blinks in and out of existence near Kagan's remains. I freeze in place. The sound that this place is making as well, it makes me want to take out like one of them speaky boxes and like turn those on and go, you know, what is your name? Who are you? What age are you? Also just from beautiful scenery, by the way, but like from the sparkles. my hidden object game skills are like kicking in full force here because I'm all like, click on the sparkles, click on the sparkles, it must be something important. But no. Are you trying to help me? What are you mumbling about? In case you missed it, I'm not particularly fond of your sect. Doesn't seem like Nia had noticed it. Give me just a moment more. She grunts under her nose and goes back to messaging someone on her phone. When she does, the shadow appears again. Once again, blink in, blink out. Could something be there? Approach the clothes and start searching them for a clue. Maybe they missed something. Getting desperate, huh? Just being thorough. Searched the bastard like 3 times. He had nothing of interest on him. How about this? Small card, barely noticeable, looking a bit like shopping list shoved deep into an almost invisible hole in the fabric. Take it out and show it to Mia. Ah! Didn't plant that there, did you? No, did you? Shove off! What's on it? It's a list of 4 names. D'Angelo, Hope, Agatha, and Tamika. No! No, it's a hit list! They're precious babies from the other game. I mean, thankfully, it's on a dead man. Any idea what this is about? Beats me. He's lying, but I don't care. Tomorrow night I will meet up with Quadir and ask him to help me figure it out. Think I'm done here. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. Yeah, she sees me as nothing more but an enemy agent. When will I get to meet with Torque? If, and that's a big if, he will agree to meet you on a one-on-one basis, Catherine will let you know. Probably won't let the loyal Camarilla lapdog, like you, see him without her oversight anyway. Camarilla lapdog, huh? It's a risky play, of course, and might backfire, but maybe it'd benefit to put my loyalty to the court into question. I don't know. You know what? I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. Playing for both sides sounds like a recipe for trouble. Just too risky and stressful. Pass. I see. Well, have a good night. It's getting late or early, depending on how you look at it. Once I leave Calgan's office, I head straight to Dakota's apartment. Tried to sneak by to my bedroom, but she's up and waiting for me. How was your night? Shit. Tomorrow. What happened? You look like something the cat dragged in. Tomorrow, I promise. But I'm worried. Don't be. Tomorrow. She gives me a concerned look, then closes her eyes, slumps her shoulders, and frowns. Alright. You're the best. Reach my pitch-black room and throw myself on the bed. Responsibilities, the stakes, the way I always feel too slow to react properly in these situations. Don't want to think, I want to turn off my brain, I want to drift into the void. Into the void, into the void, into the void. And there we go, cookies. Before I leave for tonight, I actually wanna quickly show you what happens if you, don't choose to get embraced. By the way, control actually skips the thing, so, that's very useful to know. Because it's an actual fast skip, so while it's still not a button like, you have in other games, where you just press skip to the conversation, and then it does, it's a lot better than clicking, so whatever you do, don't click on these novels, actually hold control key. But yeah, if you don't shoot, it's just because the ending is just like so chilled and dramatic. I won't shoot, just help me, please help me. I will. She yanks the gun out of my hand with ease. Her strength is horrifying actually and turns it against me. Then she pulls the trigger. This is the place where we got embraced last time, right? With a gaping hole where my heart used to be, I fell down onto Antonov's body. If it's of any consolation to you, that the way you are, there's no chance you were ever going to amount to anything. I'll just hasten the inevitable. You're a lowlife, not even worth drinking. I'm just angry at myself for wasting so much time and resources to give you a second chance. Sierra wanted me back in Chicago as soon as possible. She'll have to wait a bit longer. Oh well. So effectively, yes, they test you for a week and they get really upset if you fail the test. And I just found that so awesomely Lasombra. I have no idea what she's talking about, but I'm in no condition to care anymore. And this is absolutely beautiful. The comfort of death will come for kind and kindred alike. And if I believe it correctly, which let me just check. Let me just check. That yeah, the achievement for this is rejoice, for death is not the end. I feel like Lasombra are the only ones aware that there's like a spirit world and that you get to go to the spirit world, get to be a wraith, and that this whole thing is a lot bigger than just like one life, which is so cool, man. And it makes sense because they can see freaking spirits and demons and shit. I love the music on main menu. I honestly do. But anyways, thank you for watching. This was a very fun session. Oh boy, these days are long with her storyline, but I don't mind. I feel like if I was replaying it, once again, if I just had a control key, we can go through quite a lot because there isn't that much choices. It's a lot more non-active than the previous novel, at least for now. But yeah. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. And night-night for now.